Hey Rick, how you doing?
Great.
I heard you were once one of the early surfers of Panama. Can you kind of tell me how you got started?
Well, I'll try. I don't know if my memory goes back that far. I guess it was 1963. Scott and I met a young kid whose father was a Marine at 15th Naval District. Anyway, this kid had 2 surfboards. We met him at Rio Mar. He was there for the day. And he let us use his surfboards. And later on, he would come up to the beach with Scott and I and our parents. And he'd bring us surfboards. And that's how we got into surfing. And from there, we met Ruben and Tomas Miro. And that very next summer, when we went to the States on home leave, we bought surfboards, and we were, I guess, some of the core beginners at Rio Mar.
So you also surfed Rio Chamay or Malibu. How was that? Do you remember when that started?
I don't remember the dates. After everybody was bitten with the surf bug there at Rio Mar, we started to branch out and look for different spots. And we did go to the spot commonly known as Malibu. It's the river that empties out by the town of Chamay. And that was one of our favorite spots. Beautiful right and left at the time. It changes every year with the rainy season when the river changes direction. But what a wonderful place to surf. It was great. We really enjoyed it.
You used to spend a night there?
We would spend the nights there, or we would spend the nights at Gorgona, at the point of Gorgona, before it became overpopulated.
Well, my goodness, it's Rob Roy.
Well, hello there. How are you?
Hey, Rob, you were one of the early surfers of Panama, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
You even were on Panama's first surf team, weren't you?
Well, it's called the Panama Performers. We had a surf club there, and we represented Panama in the 1968 World Surfing Championships.
So who all went to Puerto Rico that time?
Let's see. It was myself, Ruben, Miro, Penny Earl, Butch Deering, Paul Smith, and Chad Howe, I believe.
Didn't your brother go?
My brother CJ, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Can you tell me about how you got into surfing there in Panama?
Well, we used to go, my parents used to take us up to Santa Clara when we were young kids, and then we started going, they took us to Rio Mar, and we saw Ruben and his brother Tomas surfing. Well, that was it, you know, we got the bug bad. So we really had a good time surfing in Panama and being some of the first guys to surf the waves in Panama. And it all started in Rio Mar, but my favorite spot back in the day was Tits Point.
Yeah, I remember you out there.
Yeah. And of course, our first surfboards we bought were Hobies that we ordered from California and had them shipped down, but it was so expensive to ship them down that we started making our own boards. And that Scott Williams and his brother Rick were were some of the pioneers in shaping the first boards in the canal zone. But the Moreau brothers were the real pioneers of surfing in Panama and making boards. I remember they made some boards out of styrofoam, and that was pretty cool.
Well, thanks a lot, Rob.
Hey, no problem. Glad to see you.
Good to see you too. Well, my
this looks
folks,
like a mugshot.
it's Penny Earl. She was the first surfing champion there in Panama. Hey Penny, how you doing?
I'm doing good because I'm happy because I'm at my reunion.
Hey Penny, can you tell us how you started surfing there in Panama and all that?
I can blame it all on Teddy Henner because I was at Rio Mar with Valerie Johnson, and Teddy had the first commercially made surfboard in Panama, and he asked me if I wanted to try it out, and I caught the wave and rode it all the way in, y ya estaba hecha. I was finished. That was it. I was stuck for life on a surfboard.
So Penny, you kind of represented, you were the first lady to represent Panama in an international surfing contest there in Puerto Rico. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the funniest thing was when we got to the airport in San Juan, we had these 9 and 10 foot long surfboards, and all the sticks that were at the airport were sticks. They were like 5 and 6 feet long, and every one of us rode short boards in the contest, so we didn't do really well, but we had a great time.
So can you give us young fellas some advice?
Never give up.
Thank you, Penny. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Hey Monty, how you doing?
Yeah, good morning.
You were one of the early surfers there in Texas, weren't you?
Yeah, I started surfing in Texas in 1964, 65.
So where'd you start surfing?
We were surfing in Galveston. I lived in Houston, and at that time I bought a Fry surfboard. It was one of my first surfboards. Henry Fry made boards in Texas, and we used to go down to Galveston, about an hour and a half drive, to usually get there and find it pretty flat.
So can you tell me how you ended up in California, how you met Steve Bissell?
Well, we wanted to get out of Texas if we wanted to keep surfing, so we were really getting hooked on surfing in Texas, and we would travel down to Corpus Christi or South Padre Island when we could to get good waves. And so when we graduated from high school, I had an Oldsmobile Hearse, and we had about 5 of us surfers. We took the Oldsmobile Hearse and drove to Mazatlan, Mexico. Mazatlan, we surfed there, just lived in the paradise there for a couple, 3 months. Then we drove to California, and had a friend I met in Mexico, and he drove up to California with us, and I got stuck in California. Before I knew it, I was back to Texas and then back to California, and in California I went to Santa Barbara because that was one of the best surfing areas in California that wasn't too well known. So I moved into Santa Barbara about 1967, 68, and got to meet Steve Bissell, and he was from Panama. He showed me pictures of Panama, which was really great and exciting. So when California had the oil spill in 1968, big oil spill was just ruining all the surfing in Santa Barbara, I decided to get some guys together and go to Panama. And at that time, Jeff Hackman was able to go with me, he was the world champion at that time, and another guy, and we got in our Volkswagen, my Volkswagen Bug, and drove all the way through Mexico, through Central America, all the way to Panama, and met Steve Small and you down there, and the surf wasn't too great in Panama when we were there. For a few days we were there, but it was just really neat to get to learn the place and know it. Oh, we went to Panama's beautiful, and I got to see it, and it was like something you'll never forget.
Thank you very much. Steve, how you doing?
Thank you, Ed.
How do you like the canal reunion?
As always, it's great. And it's always a pleasure to be here. Just came back from Panama after 31 years of not being back. And I hooked up with all my friends, all the people there, and went to Rio Mar. Did some body surfing, but no surfing. And it looks the same, but progress is progress.
So Steve, you were one of the early surfers there in Panama, weren't you?
I guess you could say I was.
I remember seeing a picture of you hanging 10 there at Rio Mar that Steve Bissell took.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that day?
Well, I'm not sure about the day, but it was a small... What can I say?
Are you hanging 10 days or over?
Yeah. Am I hanging 10 days or over? Yes, they are.
Are you in the short
it's kind of funny you asked that. The last time I went surfing, my brother Bush bought a couple of surfboards at a garage sale. Well, I borrowed one of them and I went surfing. And I was out on Sunset Beach here in Florida. And I ain't been surfing was floored, of course, and I said, no. It just happens to go with the age. As you get older, your preferences, your priorities change. So, therefore,
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Hey, John Harris. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good to see you.
Doing what?
Good to see you.
Oh, good to see me.
Hey, John, you're one of the early surfers of Panama. Can you tell me how you got started surfing?
Oh yeah, with the Roys.
The Roys?
Yeah, CJ and Rob. They introduced us.
To surfing?
Yeah, when we moved to Balboa.
When you live in
Or
Balboa?
we were Diablo boys, and then we moved to Balboa.
Uh-huh.
So then we ran in. They just started surfing.
And you
Yeah,
guys started, you and Mickey?
They introduced us to us. So that was it. That was the end of that.
Marshall, right?
Yeah, Marshall, me, and Mickey.
So what was the first spot you ever surfed?
Well, everybody started at Real Mar.
Real Mar.
But, I mean, that's where it all started at. And he branched out from there, going to Stanley's and then down to Malibu. Then they found Rio Tedo, so surfing the left at Rio or the Point, that was something.
Yeah, sure was.
Malibu was the best.
That was the best, wasn't it? When he got big and
Sitting there with J.O.D. O'Donnell.
J.O.D., yeah.
They had that Jeep and we all packed all the boards on top.
So what was your first surfboard?
Well, the first one was a homemade board.
A homemade board?
Yeah, we ordered a blank from California. We call it the Green Log.
The Green Log.
Weighed about 300 pounds.
Yeah. You and Mickey made it, or you and Marshall?
This me?
This you?
Yeah.
I remember the first mini board I ever saw was one that you made. It was kind of like looked kind of like an airplane.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I had an old Dewey Weber. I mean, that was my second board. I had a Dewey Weber Performer. And my brother had a Ron, and my little brother had a Jacob. But after I got hurt, I took my Dewey Weber and cut it down to a shortboard. Because that was right when everybody was converting from longboards to shortboards.
What year was that?
I never got to ride a shortboard. That pissed me off. But other than that, yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Had some good waves.
Uh-huh.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just living at the beach.
Yep.
Go up there, surfing with the crew. Lutz, Gary Lutz.
Yeah.
CJ, Ruben Moreau, all them guys.
Yeah.
Gamba, if I forgot. Yeah.
Okay, well thanks a lot, John. Appreciate that.
Enjoyed it.
Okay, bye-bye. Steve, how's it going?
Things are really great. I'm glad to be here at the reunion. Meet my old buddy Ed Hewson and his mom. Having a good time. Wish everyone were here.
Steve, you were kind of one of the surfing pioneers of the zone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, started in '65. I met Charlie Myers in gym class in Columbia Junior High, and told me about surfing. Took me up to the beach over Christmas, or I met him at the beach over Christmas. And let's see, who was it? Someone had a brand new Hobie, three-stringer, 9 foot or so. I got on that with sunscreen. Well, it wasn't sunscreen, it was suntan oil. Got it all oiled up, and then I got to know Tomas Miro and Ruben Miro. So I would catch a ride up with Tomas a lot on the weekends, and he would let me use the boards, the pop-outs, the buck pop-outs that he used to rent up there, and just picked it up. And went on from there and really enjoyed myself. Got to surf a lot of spots. Made it out to Catalina a couple times, but both times it was flat. And I think we were all very lucky to be part of that, to enjoy all that. It was really a wonderful experience.
So what was the first spot that you ever surfed?
It was Rio Mar,
Rio
where
Mar.
all of us surfed. And then Malibu after that, you know, we started going down there and walking. Now you can drive all the way down. And after that was Tits, of course, and Rio Point. And that's pretty much it.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good to see you again, buddy.
Hey, Billy, how's it going?
Hey, I know this guy. I used to surf with him.
What's
How you doing?
Good, Steve Sloan.
Do I get an Academy Award for
And
this?
Billy Hutchings. My goodness. Hey, Billy, tell us, how'd you start surfing in Panama?
I met Steve. How does it was an evolution.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know someone started it and it took off, and I followed suit.
So what's the first board you ever had, Billy?
I remember it was a yellow Royal Hawaiian.
Royal Hawaiian.
Yeah, it's a nice big board, and I enjoyed it. And then when the small boards came on scene, I remember chopping it up. And probably a mistake because this would have been a good board around these days.
So who'd you used to go surfing with, Billy?
Pardon?
Who'd you used to go surfing with, Billy?
With you.
Oh man, Mr. Hutchins.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey,
How you doing?
puta, hey,
Good to see you.
you live on a sailboat, huh?
Yeah, well,
And I saw your backyard the other day, huh?
Well, folks,
That's pretty cool, but it takes, yeah, Pablo, ¿cómo estás? Gusto en verte.
Señor
Yeah,
Pablo.
Steve,
¿Cómo estás?
another Facebook friend of mine. Hey, you're looking sharp, Steve.
¿Cómo estás?
Ah, bien, ¿y tú? Ah, okay. Igualmente, huh? Yeah, man. Listen, I like your posts. I like your views, okay? And I like the fact that, you have never left Panama. You know?
It's home, man.
It's home.
It's home.
You're a
Yeah.
lawyer.
I am a lawyer.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of law do you practice?
It's mostly criminal defense and juvenile court work. With the,
Okay.
this and that.
And where do you live? In the
Iowa.
village? Iowa? I just went through Iowa the other day, Des Moines.
Oh, you were.
I had never, wait. I had never been in that part of the country. I went to Kansas, Lawrence. I went through Kansas City, and then I had to go pick up my wife in Rochester, Minnesota. So I got to know what the heartland of the United States was, and I got to know what the breadbasket of the United States was, and part of the rest of the world as well. I had never
Iowa's
experienced it. I had never,
It's a great place to live. Just the winters.
but I just, in Minnesota, the whole place.
Hey,
I don't
Pablo.
want to say it sucks.
Hey, Pablo.
This guy lives a pretty nice life, but it's what you call confined space. Huh? So you got to get used to confined space. You know, there's people that suffer from claustrophobia. Obviously, he's not one of those people. There's people that suffer from vertigo, from heights, but that's a pretty neat life that you lead, man. You know.
Hey, Pablo, tell me when you met these two guys,
Hey,
these
when
two
are
gentlemen.
you gonna turn this thing off, man? Come on.
Okay,
When did I meet these two guys? Well, first of all, we are classmates. He and I are classmates, Steve and I. And Buddy, he's just a little bit, Billy, he's just a little bit behind me. But Michelle, his sister, is I think class of 70. Your sister?
Oh, she's like 74.
No, she's not that much younger than us. Well, you know, as we age a little bit, we kind of don't get it right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Pablo.
You gonna post this on Facebook too?
Can I do that, alcalde? Can we do that for the alcalde? You know, you're our alcalde, man.
Hello. This guy does a lot of nice posting, man. Really cool stuff. Where do you get all that material?
People.
Where do you get all that material?
People like it. They like to help me with it.
Well, I know. So they send it to you?
They send it, yeah.
Wow. You know, I mean, where do they? I mean, this guy's up here.
It's a
and
joint.
we're in Benao, and we're in Catalina, and we're over here. I said, where's this guy getting all this material?
It's not on me. It's a joint effort, believe me. Everybody's pitching in. You listen, man.
You would think he does.
Hi, folks. It's Frankie Anderson.
All right, it's Mr. Ed.
And Mike
Ed
Perry.
Crow. How are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, very good.
Man. How you doing today, man?
Hey,
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Hey, Frankie, you were one of the early surfers of Panama. Can you tell us how you got interested in surfing?
From Ruben Miro and the older generation, Rupert and all them, and then I made a boogie board or a knee machine. Was my first surfboard when I was in what were we, like 7th grade, 8th grade?
Yeah, probably 7th grade.
7th or 8th, like that. And then we were in the West Coast Surf Club, man, with the against the Panama Performers. We were the Young Munchkins with Kenny Rad and Filthy Phil and all the boys. Surfing Panama, go, man. Here's Mike, take it over, man.
Hey, Mike, how'd you start surfing?
Actually, my next door neighbor bought me for Christmas a belly board or a knee board, a little Hobie thing, and I started doing that with fins. Then I went to visit my dad in La Jolla, California, and started surfing there in really freezing water. And then came back to Panama and started surfing in really warm water, you know, with people like Frank and, you know, you. And that's the short and the long and the short of it.
Well, thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, Philip, how you doing?
Eddie Houston, what's up, buddy?
Hey, can you tell us about those early days of surfing in Panama?
What
You
days
were a
you-
pretty good surfer back then.
What days you want to know about? The beginning or the end? Or in between?
And ain't happened yet, right? We're still gonna go out one day, right, Phil? You and I.
Well, back in them days, 6 people at Tits Point was a crowd, you know? If you're out there with you and your buddy and you saw 4 people came up, you got pissed off. Who are these guys coming out?
Hey, Phil, tell me about your first surfboard and all that, how you got started.
My father pushed me on our brother's Hobie at Rio Mar, 1966. And I got a picture at home I just got from my mom after she died. Shows me standing goofy foot, a big Hobie board. And then from there we progressed, you know. Try to hitchhike rides at the beach. Everybody's parents that went up, you always try to hustle ride up there, you know. Till we got our license.
This is a G-rated film.
Who are the other guys?
Butch Naring, Steve Naring, Rob Royce, Pilot, Russ Marr, Russ Poor. Who else? Am I missing any?
I heard they all got rehabilitated.
They've been rehabilitated. CJ Roy,
Yeah.
God bless his soul.
I hear they don't mind hanging around with us younger guys.
But then we got better than them at surfing, so you know, the students were now the teachers, you know.
Yeah. Okay, Phil, thank you very much.
What about Kenny Myers?
We started surfing with Kenny Myers back in 16.
Now they were younger than you or the same age?
No, me and Kenny are same age, yeah. That was 19, Kenny started 67, 68, I think.
No, it had to be before that.
Or 66, that's when I started.
You guys were like
Yeah, it could have been 64, I don't know.
I think 64 because
Yeah.
you guys were 11, 12 years old.
I was born in 54, so it was 10, yeah.
About 65.
Yeah, because we were 14 years old paddling across the canal to go surf Farfan.
Yeah.
On longboards.
Yeah, it'd be 67. So you
Yeah,
guys were,
was it really?
yeah. So that was 64 you guys started.
Jeez, that long ago, huh? I guess you're right, yeah. And then the shortboard came out, which revolutionized surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to make your own boards, I remember that.
Oh yeah, remember we used to cut down the longboards and take all the fiberglass off them, take the skill saw, cut around the rails and peel the glass off. And we didn't have electric panes back then, but we sure knew how to use a hand plate. Then we had that shitty Balboa Yacht Club resin, remember? Stuff that turned green, or was it brown?
Yeah, turned brown.
And the boards, hey, you know, they work for us. We all learned on them, and we got pretty good surfing those things, you know? It all shows if you got your heart and soul into surfing, you'll surf on anything.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that.
Wish I could say.
you doing?
Great, Eddie. How are you doing?
Can you both tell me how you like coming to these Panama Canal reunions?
We love it.
Wouldn't miss it.
Love it.
We always
love
have a
seeing
really
our
good
old
time
friends and
seeing
having
everybody.
fun.
It's awesome. Like seeing you.
Yeah,
So
Eddie.
much fun.
Well, thank you very much.
So let's go have some fun.
Okay.
Okay.